So I'm gonna start a gardening show. Kiwi is.
Every day I grow a little older. And I can feel my heart getting colder. But I remember what my mama told me. That if it's worth it, it won't be easy. So it won't be easy. Baby, believe me. You got to know you're right inside. So don't stop for no one. So you got to hold on. Don't let the darkness take.
For that jazz. Alright, episode Tahi Rua Toru Pa Rima Onu. Episode 6. Let's go. This is one of my favorites. We're going to be focusing on fertilizer. Alright, fertilizers. My favorite. I've broken it down into a lot of different syllables. Fertilizer. As you can see there, the fertilizer. I've done that because it's a multiple syllable word and there's just multiple fertilizers. There's so much to know. So we're going to start out with the most important thing of the fertilizers, and that's with the number that you'll see on the back of every fertilizer, the NPK rating. 3 different digits and a ratio. It's giving you a 3-part ratio as to what's in the fertilizer. So what do these 3 numbers mean? Let me bloody well tell you. Oh my god. Alright, so the N stands for nitrogen. So why nitrogen? Nitrogen is a big part of the chlorophyll molecule, and it actually helps give the plants their healthy green color. So if you're actually growing vegetables, things that yield crop for you, nitrogen's a massive part in there because it helps the plant feed itself as well as feed its own vegetables that it's giving off. P. Phosphorus. P or phosphorus. This is an important part of your fertilizer and something that all plants actually need. It's really important for all plants, all living plant matter. A lack in phosphorus in your plants will leave your stems of your plants a lot thinner than what they should be. And K. This is vital to plant growth. It will affect the nutrient transfer within the plant. It will also affect the plant, enabling it to give the next generation the nutrients that it needs. I personally think that you don't get into fertilizing your little bubbers, the seedlings. Stay away from that kind of thing. Wait until they get a bit older and then research the NPK. So now I'm going to show you within my garden what I do and what different fertilizers I use for different plants. Let's get into it.
First of all, we're going to be fertilizing these babies. The Love's Lies Bleeding. I love these guys. They're very fashionable flower. You see them there? They grow long like dreadlocks. They come in different colors. Grey.
I've got my gardening singlet over top of my rain jacket now because there's a bit of spit today in this Auckland weather. But that's great because I'm about to apply, after this stuff, I'm about to apply some slow release fertilizers to these guys. And the rain will just soak it, let them soak in even further. So it's perfect timing. That's great. Perfect timing. I'm always on time. Right, first up, so we're going to start with the Super Bloom stuff, Goliath plant nutrients. I ordered this stuff online. Great stuff. It's a 2-part fertilizer for Super Bloom, made in New Zealand, for flowers. The Love's Lies Bleeding, even though they're weirdos and they flower and bloom a little bit weird, they are flowers, so we're going to use that. So I'm going to say that these are in their late bloom stage now. and it's saying for in their late bloom stage, give them 9 mils of part 1 and 9 mils of part 2 per litre. So this is a 9 litre bucket, so we need to times these measurements here by 9 and we're good. Here we go. Here we go. I know that these caps here are 30 mils, so I'm going to measure out 3 of these and just do 90 mils for the 9 litres. So I'm going to do 1, 2. Oh, it's the end of my fertilizer there, so it's not even quite 90, so that's all good. Perfect. And then we'll do the same with the end of the part 2 for the Super Bloom Goliath plant nutrient. Bloody shout out, eh? And then we'll put in another of this because there's not a lot of that going in. We'll put in, this says for flowering plants 80 mils, so 2 capsules, 2 of these babies, 1 to every 2 weeks for 9 litres of water. That's a bucket. Beautiful. So we'll go 2 caps of this. Oh, it smells like fish because it's new. This stuff's all natural. 2 caps there. 1, 2. Come in here and I'm gonna water these beautiful love lies bleeding with our bucket of Super Goliath 2-part fertilizer, Super Bloom, and our natural flower fertilizer from Yates. Let's get into it. I love watering these guys, they're blooming so well at the moment. Alright, let's feed them.
Next we're going to fertilize this rose. As you can see, it still has some of its buds on there. It might turn into roses. Beautiful. We have a lot on this end.
Alright, so next we're gonna fertilize this baby, one of my favorite rose plants. We're gonna again use the Yates Thrive Roses and Flowers natural fish and seaweed mix. That's all naturally. And we're going to use this slow fertilizer stuff. This is probably actually what you want to be using for your roses. Slow fertilizer. Alright, so we're going to put in 2 scoops of this first. Where the hell my scooper go? Now, because of the size of the pot, this size of the pot here, I'm going to use 2 scoops of this stuff, of the slow release. Hopefully it rains like I was saying, so that it helps it dig in. But I'm actually gonna dig it in a little bit with my oh, I almost over fertilized then, I always do that, but let's stick with 2 scoops this time and then I'll dig it in. So the aim is just to dig it in 2 to 3 inches into the soil, and the rain or next time you water the plant, it'll just soak into the roots even further. Alright, so I'm going to also apply our Yates organic seaweed mix here. 2 capfuls of this stuff. Be right back. Alright, so again I've got my 9 litres of water in here with 2 capsules of our organic stuff. There we go, I've said that about 1,000,000 times, you know what it is. Here we go, let's water it. Let's fertilize it, baby. Have a feed. Have a feed, have a kite, have a kite. Oh, a bit of kaimoana in there even, with the seaweed. Woo! Alright, I love it. Moving on. Alright, so the last thing that we're gonna fertilize today is gonna be this Monstrerra. I love this baby. I don't really claim to be much of an indoor plant guy, but Monstrerras can grow indoors and outdoors. So being the outdoor container gardener that I am, I actually keep this guy outside. So I'm trying to see how he goes and fares against a lot of my friends, indoor Monstrerras. But I think I think they're both faring pretty well, the Monstrerras that I've got. But yeah, we're gonna feed this guy up he's going to get, because again the size of the pot, he's going to get 2 capsules of the slow release fertilizer. Osmocote, I think it's Osmocote Scots Pots, planters and indoors. So this is great for your indoors planters, indoor plants. 2 scoopies. Boom. Boom. And then again, I'm gonna dig that in 2 to 3 inches down, and then I'm gonna just water this guy so that the fertilizer sinks in a bit. Beauty. Alright, so I'll water him in a second so the fertilizer sinks in. But that's us today. I've shown you 3 different types of fertilizers that I've done, and I've shown you, and we've talked about NPK. What is it? What is the NPK fertilizer? What is the ratio that your plant needs? I really encourage you to look up what the NPK ratio is and what type of fertilizer that your plant would love to have in its life cycle. Where in its life cycle is it, and what kind of fertilizer is great for it at that time. If you have any comments or questions, just hit me up in the comment section. Yeah, like, share this video, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks so much for watching. Woo. Now I can do some